And Mr. Jones, same questions. Who do you support for governor, District 84? Your stand on accepting lobbyist money. And if I might throw one other question in, newspaper article recently had mentioned that when Tom Craddock was moved out as the leader of the House and Strauss was placed in, that he was felt to be more moderate Republicans as compared to Craddock, and what was behind that move, that they mentioned that you were involved in that process.
Well, you loaded the wagon good. Number one, I trust your judgment of the other voters. I trust the judgment of you and the other voters on who you select for governor, and I'll work with whomever gets elected, and I'm not going to get involved in campaigning for any one of them, because then it would be difficult to work with whomever wins if it should not be that person. So I trust your judgment on pick the governor. And
District 84?
And then you want to know about lobbyists.
Or District 84, do you have anybody that you particularly support in District 84?
I think that's another loaded question, but I'll answer it because the TV people interviewed me right after Mark Griffin announced that he was running. I was at the announcement, and they asked me what I thought about him, and I think he was qualified because he's been on our school board, he's been on our state board, Texas State Board of Regents. He's operated a highly successful business with his family, and he's done everything I can imagine in my lifetime in the community. They said, well, are you endorsing him? I said, well, I guess I just did when I told you I thought he had all these qualifications and that I was looking forward to serving with him. So that would be the same answer I'll give you on that issue. It's one that's important. I think you need qualified people. I think you need businessmen in that legislature, because businessmen are the reason we have a conservative state government at the moment. It's not perfect, but it's better than the other 49. So, lobbyists.
Your stance on accepting lobbyist money for during a campaign?
You've got another lobbyists serve a purpose, like the real estate people have endorsed me, the Texas Association of Realtors. They are lobby group. They get their money from local real estate people who pay money into it, and the local real estate people recommended that they support me. So that's where I get a lot of money from people that have local contact. And they serve a purpose because you, if you're not in the real estate business, and I cannot possibly keep up with all of the things that affect the real estate industry. And the real estate industry is a big industry in Florida. So when they develop a program that sounds reasonable, sounds acceptable to West Texas and to District 83, I support it. My responsibility is to listen to all of the lobbyists and to the individuals who come there. And then at that point, make a decision on a vote. And I make the decision based on what would the people in District 83 want done if they had access to the same information I have access to. So that's where the responsibility comes in, is making a decision based on information, and listening to all sides is an essential part of it.
And then last question was the move to move Craddock out and Strauss in, who was, I think, generally felt to be a more moderate Republican as opposed to a more conservative Republican as a House leader.
Craddock probably, I've served under, let me think a moment, about 5 or 6 different speakers, with him being one of them. And he operated the most dictatorial speakership we've ever had. Committee chairmen could not have a bill considered unless they cleared it with his office or with him. That's not representative government. And quite candidly, because I was voting against the gross receipts tax, which I don't think was a conservative tax, and I was not, quote, not cooperating with the leadership, and he was part of the leadership, then money from San Antonio, Houston, and Fort Worth in the amount of $700,000 was recruited to spend against me, try to defeat me, and the reason they did that is because I wouldn't jump through the hook. I'm too independent for those folks. And I think that's what West Texas wants. You don't want me to go down there and jump through the hoop. You want me to do what is best for District 83 in West Texas.
Thank you. And Mr. Brady, same questions. Do you have a choice for Governor 84? And then my question to you is regarding the newspaper article recently that mentioned that as a conservative Republican, you had previously given money to Pete Laney and some Democrats that were
Don't forget
running.
Kinky,
And Kinky, I know, it was only $67, but
$57.95. It was for one of those talking Kinky Friedman dolls, that when you push the back of it, says, "I'll keep us out of war with Oklahoma."
so.
If he'd have asked me, I'd have told him that's what it was for.
But Governor 84, your stance on accepting lobby money during the campaign
Sure.
and the previous donating to Democratic.
The Kiki doll also says some other things, but we have a lot of ladies with us, and some of them aren't appropriate. But I do collect political memorabilia. It's a funny thing to have. That's what that was for. Only Kinky would call that a contribution. If Enrique had asked me about that, I would have told him. Let's go through this stuff. Governor, I'm going to campaign for whoever the Republican nominee is, okay? But I believe in transparency. You can pull the reports if you want to spend the time going through those 300-page reports, and you'll find I wrote Rick Perry a $500 check, okay? So I believe in, putting my money where my mouth is. I'm not actively endorsing anybody. Naturally, because we're candidates, I think we have more opportunities for a mic. And when it comes to governor, your vote and my vote count exactly the same. So that's where I am. I have not been vocal about that. I don't intend to be, but I do want you to know I wrote the man a check. 84 for that very same reason. I think we've got a couple of really good guys running for that spot. They're not messing in my race. I'm not going to mess in theirs. I wish them the very best of luck. See, was there another race you wanted me to?
No, that was it.
I would like to talk about the speaker and the lobby stuff. That's
Okay.
all right. Okay, on the speaker stuff, look, I trained under Senator Duncan, okay? I understand that not everybody always gets along with Tom Craddock. What I also know is that Mr. Craddock can find Lubbock, Texas without a map. What I also know is that the chairman of appropriations was a guy named Warren Chisholm from Pampa, Texas, and that the chairman of state affairs was a fellow named David Swinford from Dumas, Texas, and that the chairman of energy was a fellow named Rick Hardcastle from Vernon, Texas, and that those three spots have now moved to Waxahachie, Carrollton, and somewhere else that's paved, respectively. And I know that I could visit with those three people, and any of you could visit with those three people. And the question you got to ask yourself is, are we acting in the best interest of an individual, or are we acting in the best interest of West Texas? So that's what I know about Mr. Craddock. I know where he went to school. I know he can drive here without a map. I know where those chairmen were from, and I think that's real important. Lobby money. It's no secret that I worked as a lobbyist. I was what I call a baby lobbyist, running stuff around for a couple of lawyers. After I got out of law school, I did draft some legislation. And I will tell you that there are folks who have registered to lobby who've contributed to my campaign. There are PACs who've contributed to my campaign. I've disclosed who every one of those people is. I did it 2 months before it was required. I have listed their employer on the ethics reports as is required by law. I haven't received a single dime from somebody that hadn't known me for 10 years. Most of them, I hope, are contributing because they think I'll do a good job. A lot of people don't understand this. There are, I don't know, Delwyn would know better than me, 1,200 people registered to lobby, maybe 2,000. 40 or 50 of them, maybe even 100, really care about good government. I understand that there's 600 of them that care only about their own pecuniary interests. I'm proud of the folks that are supporting me. I want to talk about that. On the business side, last week we received the endorsement of the Texas Association of Business, the largest business trade group in the state. I happen to know the staff recommended that they stay neutral because people are scared of incumbents. The past chairman of their PAC committee is a man named Don Bethel from La Mesa, Texas, who's known me since I was 25 years old. I'm proud that he helped them get over the line. On the ag side, I'm supported by the Texas and Southwestern cattle raisers. They're comfortable with my stance on private property rights. The Texas cattle feeders, they know where I stand on environmental regulation. the cotton ginners, they know where I stand on the West Texas economy.